morning, dear students. My name is Dr. Shuaib Mohammad Bhat. I am working as Assistant Professor in the Department of English at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. Today in this video lecture, we shall be discussing about the challenges of public speaking. I talked about oral presentation. I talked about different speech. I talked about different forms of communication. Today, the topic of discussion would be public speaking. What are the challenges of public speaking, or navigating the complexities of effective communication? How can we navigate? How can we overcome the complexities of effective communication? Now, let's go with the introduction. Public speaking, it's an art form that demands more than mere eloquence. It's not only, when we talk about public speaking, it's not only that how good you are speaking. It's not only about your tone, about your pitch, about your speed, about your volume. It's not only that thing. It's not only eloquence. It's not only how good eloquence you are having. So it's something which is behind that. It's something which is apart from that. It's a skill often regarded as essential for personal and professional success. While some individuals seamlessly captivate audiences with their words, many grapple with an array of challenges that can turn the prospect of public speaking into a daunting experience. It's a skill. It's not only like how good words you are using. It's not only like which language you are using for your communication, for public speaking. It's a skill, and it's one of the essential skills for personal and professional success. If you want your personal or professional success, you should be a good speaker, because when you speak good, people understand you. When people understand you, there are chances people may accept your demands. There is a growth. And this growth can be at personal level and it can be at professional level. So you will see there is both personal and professional success if you are a good public speaker. While there are some individuals who seamlessly captivate audiences with their words, there are some speakers whose choice of words is extraordinary, is awesome. They grapple the audience, they spellbound the audience with the choice of words they use in their communication. But there are others who grapple with an array of challenges that can turn the prospect of public speaking into a daunting experience. But there are others who are grappling with the challenges and who could not see what really public speaking is. And they are just turning the whole prospect of public speaking into a daunting experience. And in the spotlight of public speaking, stage fright emerges as a formidable adversary, casting its shadow over even the most confident individuals. There is one thing which you need to just be very careful of, that is stage fear. See, there are many confident people who can speak anytime, who can talk on any. There are many knowledgeable people who have a lot of knowledge, vast treasure of knowledge inside them. They can speak on any given topic. But the thing is this, they are having stage fear. And this stage fear is not allowing them to talk on different topics. It's not allowing them to share their knowledge. It's not allowing them to make others familiar with their knowledge, because they are having stage fear. So it's one of the greatest adversaries of public speaking. One of the greatest drawback of public speaking. Not of public speaking, it is one of the weaknesses which makes public speaking it makes it weak. It makes it, it just snatches its worth, its value. Because stage fear is not letting a person to show his or her knowledge. Beyond the palpable anxiety, speakers often wrestle with a pervasive lack of confidence, confronting inner doubts that threaten to undermine their delivery. Now, beyond the palpable anxiety, people, there are a lot of speakers who are very anxious, who are having anxiety disorders, And speakers, they often wrestle with pervasive lack of confidence. There are many speakers who are struggling with confidence because you know what to speak next, but you don't have the confidence to speak. So these are the adversaries, like stage fright is there, anxiety is there, lack of confidence is there, and there are people who are confronting their inner doubts. When you start speaking, you are having some doubt. So you are struggling with that doubt internally, and it undermines your delivery. When you start struggling with some doubt internally, it has its effect on your delivery. Your delivery is not so effective, it's not so productive, it's not so alluring, it's not so thought provoking. Why? Because you are internally struggling with some other problem, with some other doubt. The fear of judgment, whether directed at one's appearance, voice, or the content of the speech, adds another layer of complexity to the public speaking landscape. One of the another problems, that is the fear of judgment. What will others speak about my delivery? What will others speak about my speech? So this fear of judgment, how will others judge me? How will my audience judge me? It's another problem, another hindrance. It's another obstacle in the way of effective public speaking. So a person cannot deliver well, a person cannot speak well when he is internally just struggling with the fear of judgment. So, however, the challenges extend beyond the realm of self-perception. So, crafting a compelling speech demands not only creativity but also a strategic organization of content. Now, the challenges which come in the way of public speaking, they are beyond the realm of self-perception. What you think about yourself, what you are struggling inside. It's not only these are the challenges of public speaking, there are some other challenges also. And there are some other demands also which you need to fulfill for effective public speaking. One among them is strategic organization of content. You are going to speak, you are not a person who lacks confidence, you are not a person who is having stage fear, you are not a person who is struggling with internal doubts. But unfortunately, your speech is not well organized. It's not well structured. When it is not well organized and well structured, again it will fall. Your whole speech will fall. It will not have an impact on the audience because the events or the thoughts or the issues which you are addressing, they're not in a proper organization. And you all know, and we all know, everybody among us, when we are listeners, we want to listen things in a sequential order, in a chronological order, in a sequence, in an ordered manner. So this is another challenge. The intricate dance of articulation and pronunciation, it becomes crucial and it influences how messages are received. Another challenge is your articulation and pronunciation. What is your voice modulation? Which pitch you are using? Are you going very smoothly throughout your presentation? There is no rising tone, falling tone. It may not have impact on the audience because you are not showing the emotions, because you are not using the exact tone for your emotions, for your questions, for your exclamations, for surprising events, surprising sentences. And if your pronunciation is weak, if your pronunciation is not good, again, it is a challenge. Your message may not be received well because your pronunciation is not good. It's not accurate. It's not correct. As speakers navigate these linguistic intricacies, they must also contend with the ever-present specter of stage logistics, from technical glitches to the delicate art of handling audience engagement. Apart from these linguistic intricacies, a speaker must be aware about the logistics of the stage. What are the different equipments which are on the stage? How to move on the stage? Is it so delicate that if I move very quickly or if I make a quick movement, the stage must not fall? Every speaker must be aware with the lighting, with the switches, with the wires which are connected. You may be showing something with the visual dimension, but unfortunately, unintentionally, you switched some button and the whole show is over. So you need to be well aware of all these things. Then, and all the technical glitches must be put in consideration. Plus, we need to be aware how to handle the audience, how to engage audience, how to spellbound audience. So there are some challenges which comes in the way of or this public speaking. Number one is stage fright, or we can say stage fear. Stage fear or performance anxiety. It's a natural response to the fear of being judged. When you speak, when you talk, when you showcase your talent, when you showcase anything. Right now we are talking about public speaking. When you speak among the public, you have the fear of public judgment. That how you can be judged by the people. Oh, this is normal because we are human beings. It's going on in our mind, in some of the corners of our mind. This fear is there. Yeah, what will people think about my speech? Am I audible? Is my pronunciation good? Are my examples and illustrations means referencing to my points? Are they aligned to my arguments? So the fear of judgment is natural, it's normal. It can manifest physically with symptoms like trembling, sweating, and a racing heart. The stage fear or the fear of being judged, there are some symptoms. How can you check? Yes, the speaker is having the fear of judgment, is having stage fear. It can be judged by trembling. You will see a lot of these speakers, they are trembling, they are just shuddering. So next thing is sweating. You will see the speaker sweats more. Racing heartbeat is growing. These are the symptoms by which we can guess our speaker is having stage fear. Or these are the symptoms by which you as a speaker, you can guess, yes, I'm having stage fear. When you are relaxed on the stage, when you do not have the heartbeats, over palpitation of heartbeat, when you are not trembling, when you are not sweating, imagine, yeah, you are relaxed, you are confident. And overcoming this stage fear, it involves techniques such as deep breathing, visualization, and gradually exposing oneself to speaking situations. We can overcome this stage fright or stage fear. We can overcome it by having deep breath. By doing this, we can relax our heart. The heartbeat will decrease. The increasing heartbeat will decrease. It will come to the normal level. By visualization, by looking upon the audience, looking upon the people, by visualizing what my content is, so we can relax, we can overcome the stage fear. And by just exposing ourselves to speaking situation, we should pay more attention to the speaking situation. By doing that, we can overcome the stage fear. So these are the activities by which a public speaker can overcome the stage fear. Lack of confidence, another problem, another obstacle, another complexity which comes in the way of public speaking is lack of confidence. Confidence issues may stem from a lack of self-belief or negative self-perception. This lack of confidence, it comes from lack of self-belief and lack of or negative self-perception. When you do not rely on yourself, when you do not believe yourself, when you have negative thoughts regarding your perception, when your self-perception is negative, so you will be the victim of lack of confidence, less confidence. So we should believe ourselves. We should say, yes, I can deliver the speech. I can deliver it better. I can use good pronunciation. I can use good sentence structure. I can quote good examples. So when you have this ideology, when you believe yourself, when you have positive self-perception, like, yes, I'm the best speaker, I can speak better, my audience is listening to me, they'll judge me positive, they'll not judge me as as a weak speaker, as an incompetent speaker. So these things, this positive self-perception, self-belief, they help us to overcome this confidence, the lesser confidence. Then, so building confidence, it involves recognizing and challenging negative thoughts. How can we build confidence? When we recognize and when we challenge negative thoughts. Oh, what is the thought which makes my confidence decrease? What is the idea or what is the challenge which makes my confidence come down, which makes the level of confidence to fall? So when we recognize and when we challenge these negative thoughts and when we practice regularly to improve skills, we need to practice regularly to improve our skills. Speaking skill, body language, audience engagement. This is a skill when you engage audience. So we should practice, we should rehearse more so that we can come to know about the skills which are more required for public speaking and we can improve them. The next is seeking constructive feedback to build a positive self-image. It's always better to seek constructive feedback from your audience. When you seek constructive feedback from the audience, you become able to identify your weak zones. And when you are identifying your weak zones, you need to just improve, you need to just work on them. So these are the different exercises by which we can improve our confidence, by which we can just wipe out the lack of confidence, the lesser confidence. We can increase our confidence. So we need what to do? To recognize and challenge negative thoughts. We need to practice regularly so that we can improve the different skills which are required for public speaking. We always need to seek constructive feedback so that we can build positive self-image, so that we can rectify our mistakes, we can improve our condition, we can identify the weaker zones, we can work upon our weaker zones, and we can further improve also. We can also go with our stronger zones. Then next is fear of judgment. Another obstacle which comes in the way of public speaking is fear of judgment. So we have the fear of judgment. The fear of judgment can lead to self-consciousness and inhibition. Fear of judgment can lead to self-consciousness and also inhibition. How? See, speakers can overcome this by shifting the focus from themselves to their message. When we are having fear of judgment, we are just involving ourselves in us. We start doing intrapersonal communication. Is my dress good? Am I looking attractive? Is my voice okay? Am I using proper pronunciation? Is my sentence structure good? Because I'm having fear of judgment. So I became the victim of inhibition, self-consciousness. I start thinking about myself. When you are speaking to a huge crowd, when you are delivering a public speech, it's important for you to focus on the audience, not on yourself, not on your dress. Because this thing you have to do when you are preparing for the public speech. So when you are on this stage, when you are addressing to the people, don't bother about your pronunciation. Don't bother about your sentence structure. Because you have to give more time to these things when you are preparing for your presentation. Now you come to the stage, you reached to the stage, you have to deliver now. You need not to confuse your actions with your emotions. You are thinking about yourself, about your dress, about your delivery, about your pronunciation, about your vocabulary. So by doing this, you are confusing your actions. Your action is to speak, to show, to make an impact on the mind of audience. Oh, you are confusing that. You are making a contradiction there. by your emotions, because your emotions are taking you back to your vocabulary, to your preparation. So no, we should not be so self-conscious at the time when we are speaking. Rather, we should shift our attention, our focus from ourselves to our message. What I am speaking, focus on it. To whom I am speaking, focus on that. Practicing self-compassion and recognizing the audiences are generally supportive. It's better to practice self-compassion. How can I be compassionate with my message? How can I do justice with my content? How can I address all the audience? And recognizing that audiences are generally supportive. And it should be recognized that my audience is supportive. So we need to pay attention on these things rather than paying attention on like how I can be judged, what sort of impression my dress is making, what sort of impression my speaking is making. No, this you are having a lot of time when you are preparing for these things. You can look upon these things, you can synthesize these, you can analyze these things that time. Once you are delivering the speech, shift your focus to your message and to your audience. Don't be the victim. Don't think about how people will judge you. Think about your delivery. Deliver well. Then organizing content. Another challenge is organizing content. So difficulty in structuring a speech can result in a lack of coherence. Difficulty in structuring a speech. When you are structuring a speech, if you find it difficult, if you are not giving proper attention to the structuring of your speech, it can result in a lack of coherence. You will see there is lack of coherence. There will not be a proper order in your speech. Your audience may not listen you properly because you are not giving them the ordered information. Because the information which you are giving to them, conveying to them, is not following any chronological order. So structuring your speech is one of the main important points. And it is a challenge if you are not able to structure your content, organize your content. How can we overcome it? We can overcome this challenge. It involves, to overcome this challenge, we should outline key points. We should use a clear introduction, body and conclusion structure, and ensuring a logical flow of ideas. Very simple. It is better you first know your key points. What are the key points you are going to discuss with the audience? Make a list of your key points. When you are done with key points, okay, there are 10 key points, I am going to talk about these 10 different issues. Now form an introduction according to these key points. Your introduction should do justice with these key points. Your introduction should introduce these 10 key points to your audience. So your introduction should revolve around these 10 key points. Then structure your body. Divide your body in different slides, in different paragraphs. Divide every key point in different paragraphs. Add some illustrations for every key point. This is how you can construct a body. And conclusion. Your conclusion should sum up all the 10 key points in it. And you should ensure that whatever you are including in the body, it goes in a logical flow. Your ideas are flowing logically. It's not like you are speaking something, you are speaking about the bottom at the first and then about the top at the end. No, that would not be accepted by the audience. Your audience, they are human beings. They want to listen everything which is ordered. Because you will not find always God-gifted people will not always be your audiences. There are people whose IQ level is very low. There are people who are below average. There are people who cannot understand you very quickly. So it is better if you give them ordered information. There are chances they may retain your information. They may understand your information. They may understand your talk. Then the next challenge is articulation and pronunciation. Now, what is articulation and pronunciation? Speech clarity is crucial for effective communication. To speak clearly, it's very important for every effective communication requires clarity in the speech. When you are having clarity in the speech, that means your speech, your communication would be effective. And working on articulation, pronunciation, and accent reduction may involve practicing tongue twisters, enunciating each word clearly, and seeking professional guidance if needed. Now, see, articulation and pronunciation, when you are talking upon different elements, different queries, different things, you need to articulate your voice, because every sentence may not require the same tone. An assertive sentence, there may be the lower tone, but when you are asking question or when you are just showing some sort of surprising to the audience, the tone will change. Tone will definitely change. If you're talking about any difficult idea, tone will 100% it will change. And your pronunciation is another important element. If your pronunciation is weak, your audience cannot understand you, because you're not speaking in a proper pronunciation. You may be misunderstood by the people when your pronunciation is weak. You do not know how to speak a word, how to pronounce a word. And how can you expect that your audience will listen you? Never ever. So, we should work on articulation and pronunciation. Every public speaker should take articulation and public speaking and pronunciation very seriously. And accent reduction, we should not include our own accent. It may involve, how can we do this? We should practice tongue twisters. We should enunciate each word, we should pronunciate each word clearly. And it is better to seek professional guidance if needed. It's better to go to the people who know language, who are good at pronunciation. If you need their help, it is better to ask for their assistance and guidance, so that you cannot leave your audience in audience in confusion. Your audience will listen you clearly and they will understand you clearly. Voice modulation and delivery. As I told you regarding voice modulation, we have pitch, we have tone, we have pace and modulation. These are the challenges. Where to use, which pitch is to be used for which situation. Where to raise the tone, where to slow the tone. With which pace we should go. And how to modulate the voice. It's another challenge. Because we see, sometimes we are making our speeches very dull, very monotonous. Our speeches may not have impact on the audience. Why? Because the way I'm speaking, it seems as if sometimes I'm singing. Sometimes I chose that sort of tone. It seems as if I'm just reading or I'm just praying. Sometimes we choose the tone. It seems as if the person is quarreling. It happens because your tone, it comes under body language. We call the term paralinguistics. Tone, pitch, pace, volume. It all comes under paralanguage or paralinguistics. It plays a vital role in your delivery. If you are not able to modulate your voice, you will not have an impact on your audience. So it is better to go with the vocal exercises. We should go with vocal exercises so that we can enhance that flexibility and we can pay attention to the pacing for emphasis. So voice modulation, it contributes a lot to your speech and it should not be underestimated. Never ever it should be underestimated. It should be given good consideration and it should be given a good amount of time so that we can understand it, we can learn it, and we can use it effectively in our communication. Audience adaptation. What is audience adaptation? Another challenge. Addressing diverse audiences, it requires adaptability. You should know that adaptability. Being a public speaker, you should be aware of adaptability. Now, what is adaptability? And this can pose a challenge for speakers. Factors such as Cultural difference, age groups, educational backgrounds influence how messages are received. Adaptability. Your audience, they belong to different age groups. They belong to different cultures. They belong to different educational backgrounds. There are some people who are doctorates, who have done PhD. There may be a person who is totally uneducated. There may be a person who belongs to some other culture. There may be a person who is young. There may be a person who is a small child. There may be a person who belongs to old age. So now you need to adapt. You should have the quality of adaptability. You should satisfy the queries of every person who is listening you or who listens you. You should know this adaptability. You should not use bombastic language or difficult language. Only PhDs will learn you, listen you or understand you, and the uneducated section of your audience will not understand you. No. You should balance your language. You should use common day these examples, common day experiences as examples. Day-to-day experiences you should quote for examples. You should use those phrases, those idioms, those proverbs which are universally accepted by the people. These should not be the phrase or idioms which are famous or which are common in a particular section of the society. No, not at all. So, speakers may struggle to tailor their content delivery to resonate with the varied audience expectations. It happens. When you are not aware of the adaptation, you will struggle. Your audience will not listen to you. Now, overcoming this challenge, it involves thorough audience analysis. The first thing you need to do is audience analysis. What sort of audience is listening to you? What sort of audience is coming to listen to you? When you come to know, you will tailor your content according to their expectations. Then, incorporating relatable examples. That is common day examples. Relatable may be that because you have a person who has done PhD, you have a person who is uneducated, you have a person who is an older person, you have your audience who is young, you have men, you have women, you have children. So relatable example would be common examples, common day experiences which can be experienced by every person. Adjusting communication styles to content with diverse demographics. Your communication style, the language, the style, that should be common so that every person can understand that. So adapting to different audiences not only enhances the effectiveness of speech, but also fosters a sense of inclusivity. And it makes the message more accessible and impactful. When you take all these things on board, it does not only make your speech successful, rather it gives a feeling of inclusivity, like unity, we all are one. And at the same time, it makes your speech accessible and impactful. Then, the next point is, so audience engagement. Engaging the audience is another challenge. There are speakers who are not able to engage the audience. They are good speakers, but they don't have the knowledge how to engage audience. So engaging audience is one of the important things which you need to keep in your mind when you are a public speaker. So you need to know their expectations. You need to adjust your presentation or presenting style according to the expectations of your audience. Now, how can you engage audience? You need to just have an eye contact with the audience. It's better to use anecdotes or humor and encourage audience participation through questions or discussions. When you ask questions to audience, when you discuss with the audience, when you make eye contact, when you crack jokes, when you speak anecdotes, so you are making your engagement with the audience. Your audience becomes engaged to you. You are making them spellbound. You are captivating their attention. Then, overcoming perfectionism. And this is very important, you need to know. See, perfectionism can lead excessive self-criticism and fear of mistakes. So, if you are thinking about perfectionism, everything should be perfect, I would like to tell you, perfection is a myth. There is nothing perfect. Remember always, version 1 is always better than nothing. When you do not have anything, you have the base version. That's perfect. That's your perfection. So latest version is always perfected than the previous versions. Right now we are using 5G. After 1 month or after 1 year, there will be 6G. So 5G is the perfection. Don't strive for perfection. No, it's a myth. Whatever you are, that's perfect. If you are just digging very hard, no, it should just, the voice should come like this. I should not speak sir, rather I should speak sir. That will make your speech very, like, your speech will not be accepted by the audience. So it will lead you to the excessive self-criticism. And you will commit a lot of mistakes because you are craving for perfectionism. And when you are craving for the perfectionism, you are sometimes crossing the normal boundaries. You are committing mistakes. So overcoming this involves setting realistic expectations, accepting that imperfections are natural. We should accept that imperfections are natural. There may be something which is imperfect. It's natural. And focusing on the message rather than on idealized performance. We should focus on our message rather than some idealized performance. I have idealized, yes, this lecture would be like this. I have imagined as if I'm in the Harvard University right now. Oh, that's an idealized, that's a utopian stage. I should not focus there. I should focus on my class. I should focus to my students. When I focus on you, the presentation would be perfect. It would be perfect. And there may be some technical issues or technical difficulties. They can be stressful. And speakers should familiarize themselves with equipment. For example, I'm using some slides right now. If I'm not aware how to use slides, if there is any technical glitch, it will have an impact on my speech. Well, I cannot deliver my speech better. Why? Because these technical glitches, they are making a stop in my presentation. So it is better for every public speaker to be familiar with all the equipments which he or she is using for his or her public speech. And you should always have a backup plan. And remain calm if issues arise. For example, I'm using slides. The system may just shut down anytime. I should always have a backup plan. I should not wholly and solely rely on the written stuff. I should have retained all this thing in my mind so that I can lead you to the conclusion. I can lead the lecture. And it's always better if any problem arises, one should be calm. One should be relaxed. One should not just start fumbling or doing this or that. No. Practice with the technology beforehand to minimize the chances of disruption. If you are using any technological, any tool, so it is better to practice that in advance so that you can minimize the chances of disruptions. Handling question answer session, another challenge. So responding to questions requires quick thinking and knowledge of the topic. At the end of your speech, you may be asked questions. So you should have quick thinking and you should have good knowledge on the topic. You should have prepared your topic. So preparing for potential questions, maintaining composure and being honest. If uncertain can help speakers navigate question answer sessions confidently. So these are the things. If we prepare for potential questions, maintaining composure and being honest, this helps us to handle a question answer session very confidently. Non-verbal communication and body language. This is another important point. Non-verbal communication plays a vital role while addressing to the people. When you communicate, 70% of the communication can be understood by the people easily if they are supported by non-verbal communication. So 70% of your communication can be understood by the people if you are using non-verbal gestures, body language, posture, eye contact. These are the things. Facial expressions. These are the things which we require, which every public speaker requires. Because it's not only your word of mouth which is making an impact on the audience. Your body language also makes an impact on the audience. Time management in speech delivery. You should always be aware of time management. We should not rush the endings of our lecture, of our speech, or we should not extend the timing, because the people who are listening you, they have their other work to do. They spare only this portion of time to listen to you. They made their mind to give you 1 hour. If your speech has been allocated for 1 hour, has been given 1 hour of time. So you should not rush the timing, rush the endings, and you should not extend the timing. So it's always better to follow the time which has been allocated or allowed to you, which has been given for your speech. So then I would like to just conclude the whole content with this. Public speaking is one of the best way of communication, because it gives you a big platform where you can communicate to the people, where you can put forward your message, your idea, your emotion, your feeling which you want to convey to the people. So you are having a huge audience at the same time who listen to your ideas. So you are having a good platform where you can convey your ideas very easily, very quickly. So there are certain approaches, there are certain practices, there are certain challenges which I discussed in detail. Every public speaker must take note of these details and must practice all these things well in advance, so that he or she can deliver the speech better. So this is all for today's lecture. If you want extra information regarding the lecture, you can quote these sources. They will help you to get more information about the matter. So this is all for today. I would like to stop here. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you very much.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.